This is the evening news for Saturday, March 17, 2014. I'm Michael Young. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. Government complains about opposition death threats. NISIL to make announcement soon as Marriott Guyana lights up. Bank of Guyana Governor laid to rest Sir Sridhar Ramphal to soon launch new book. And 18 men report abuse from women. Let's get right into tonight's top stories. Let's tell you first that government legislators have expressed concerns over what appear to be direct threats on their lives made by opposition members in the National Assembly on Thursday as they lodged complaints with the Speaker, Raphael Trotman. Details in this report. Housing and Water Minister Irfan Ali has sternly objected to a move by the opposition legislators in the National Assembly to hold up and wave pictures of former Agriculture Minister Saturday Yosaw, who was brutally murdered. Ali's objections came as the act was being done during the parliamentary debates on the controversial Berbice River Bridge toll reduction motion on Thursday. He said that he saw the waving of Sasaw's picture during the debate as insensitive and a threat to him as a minister of government.
On a point of order, in the back row of the opposition benches, they are waving a portrait of one of our colleagues who was brutally murdered. I don't know, Mr. Speaker.
One second. What is the point of order?
Mr. Speaker,
in terms of
Mr. Speaker, I'm coming to my point of order. The conduct in the House.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you can.
When you saw that portrait, what did it convey to you?
Yeah, that's what it conveyed to me a threat. Pardon? It conveyed to me. I know this. Mr. Speaker, you know the circumstances. And when they raised that photograph, it conveyed to me a threat as a minister.
Okay. Meanwhile, government's chief whip in the House, Gil Teixeira, also expressed concern over the actions undertaken by a Partnership for National Unity members of Parliament, as she contended that direct threats to kill her were made.
The pictures were showed just now. I asked, and they kept pointing the picture and then pointing to me. And I said, do you want to kill me next? And they kept laughing and saying yes.
Oh, I didn't hear
and that's different. That's different from me holding up to Rodney. Speaker, I would like to explain to you.
Go ahead, but
I would like to explain to you. You have raised something I'd like to explain. Because the Honourable Member, Miss Ali, was talking about the Berbice in the days under the PNC regime. And I held this up and I said, you'll have to explain this. The issue, Mr. Speaker, that is different with that. They're different with that because this is a subject of an inquiry now. This is the subject of an inquiry now. The issue with that, Mr. Speaker, is that they were threatening me.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Raphael Trotman, intervened in an attempt to treat with the concerns raised by the government legislators.
Both photographs of the two persons we have exposed this evening really conjure up terrible images of the past of Guyana. And I would ask that we not do so. What might appear to be mirth and merriment for some will affect others. And so with respect to each other's sensitivities, let us refrain from exposing photographs of persons who have been brutally murdered or otherwise killed by other devices. I don't know. So please, like I said, neither photograph affected or bothered me, but that's not to say that it would not have affected the sensitivity of another member. So let us please agree not to do so.
Opposition Member of Parliament Vanessa Kissoon, when asked if she intended to use the Sasaw's photo to threaten any government legislator, responded in the negative. For the evening news, Michael Young reporting. While the Cabinet promises that all of the questions with respect to the Marriott International Hotel will be answered soon, lights at the building, which is under construction, are already on. Let's get more details in this report.
The Marriott Hotel, which is still under construction, has installed its logo on the building in Kingston. The emblem has been put in place despite an obvious deceleration in works on the exterior of the building. This development comes even as the government declines to state who is the main investor in the multi-million-dollar project. However, head of the Presidential Secretariat, Roger Luncheon, says that all questions will be soon answered.
Indeed, matters, as you pointed out, are ongoing. And I can go further to say that I have been advised, like many members of the cabinet, and particularly because this is an initial engagement of which I am a board member, that much greater clarity would be soon provided.
The Marriott Hotel, which is set to open in August, will show off close to 200 rooms and will provide employment for close to 500 Guyanese. For the Evening News, Shania Singh.
President Donald Ramotar championed the cause for the passage of the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering of the Financing of Terrorism Bill when he met with the members of the private sector last evening. Details in the Shania Singh report.
With just days before the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force meets, President Donald Ramotar underscored the importance of passing the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Amendment Bill 2013. Guyana is mandated to pass the amendment bill by May 29th. However, to date, the Parliamentary Special Select Committee, headed by Government's Chief Whip, Gail Teixeira, has not completed its work.
That is extremely important if we are to facilitate the business sector in this country and make it easier for them to do business internationally. And as a small country, as you are well aware, with a small population as we have, foreign trade is extremely important to our welfare in this country.
President Ramotar was speaking at the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industries GCCI cocktail social at the Princess International Hotel. Meanwhile, newly elected president of the Georgetown Chamber, Lance Hines, the chief executive officer of the Brain Street Group, said the cocktail social was held to create a greater bond among GCCI members and the wider business community.
The genesis of this event was really based on the fact that we don't think we spend enough time with each other. There is the AGM where we meet, and after the election, the councillors get about their business. We meet again at the launch of the business magazine, the gala dinner, the AGM, and that's really it. So we believe that we don't mix, we don't mingle enough. So the idea is to start. This is our first mixer. There are going to be others, and a lot of it is to get everyone to know each other, mingle, discuss business if you wish.
Hines used the opportunity to introduce the new management committee, which was elected in April, while emphasizing the importance of building partnership. Hines aided in presenting certificates to some of the 8 honorary members of the Georgetown Chamber that were present, including Guyana Revenue Authority GRA Commissioner General Khurshid Sattar, Housing and Water Minister Irfan Ali, and Mexican Ambassador to Guyana Francisco Alguin. Other honorary members include Leader of the Opposition David Granger and Home Affairs Minister Clement Ruhi. For the Evening News, Shania Singh.
Hundreds gathered today at the St. George's Cathedral to pay their last respects to former Governor of the Bank of Guyana, Lawrence Theodore Williams. Here are more details from Gabriela Patram.
Lawrence Theodore Williams, former governor for the Bank of Guyana, was laid to rest today. His funeral service was held at the St. George's Cathedral. Hundreds attended to pay their last respects. These include President Donald Ramotar, Prime Minister Samuel Hines, Minister of Finance Dr. Ashley Singh, Leader for the APNU David Granger, members of the Diplomatic Corps, among others. Giving the eulogy was the governor's best friend Frank Bowen, who stated that Guyana and the Bank of Guyana has lost a great son of the soil and a tremendous leader. Speaking on behalf of the government, Dr. Ashley Singh, and Minister of Finance, stated that Williams served his country well and he is by far irreplaceable. Tributes also came from Deputy Governor for the Bank of Guyana, Dr. Gobind Gango, Chairman of the Committee Central of Banks in Guyana, Chairman of the Guyana Bank Association, among others. Governor Williams passed away on Wednesday morning, May 7th, after he lost the fight to cancer. He was appointed the Governor of the Central Bank in 2005. Mr. Williams took to the governor's office over 25 years of diverse cumulative central banking experience. For the Evening News, I'm Gabriela Patram.
Leader of the People's National Congress Reform, David Granger, on Friday rubbished statements made by some of the individuals at the recently commenced Walter Rodney Commission of Inquiry. Details from Jumo Paul.
PNCR leader David Granger says that the relaxation of rules at the Rodney COI has led to some people giving testimonies that can be considered as nonsense. Granger's party is seen as orchestrating and ordering Rodney's assassination by many local, regional and international interest groups.
We've already seen the relaxation of certain rules of evidence, and I'll ask my colleague Mr. Bond to speak about that. The relaxation of certain rules of evidence, so that people are getting up and talking about their dreams and premonitions and their guesses. They heard somebody who said something about some accident having occurred. I didn't get a job, so how can you say you didn't get a job? So somebody got killed. So a lot of nonsense is being said, and much of that is being scraped together in order to malign the People's National Congress Reform, and we wouldn't have any of it.
Granger further urged the government to ensure that the truth is being derived from the proceedings at the inquiry and not what was just public perception.
What we would like to say is that we call upon the Commission of Inquiry itself, not the President, not the PPP Civic Administration, to pursue the truth. We have nothing to hide. And were the truth to be told, the people of Guyana would understand better how Dr. Rodney came to be in possession of a certain device in a brown paper bag, why he agreed to have it tested in a certain place in the dead of night, what he intended to do with that device, because a walkie-talkie doesn't speak to itself.
Granger said that the Commission has had 4 witnesses in 2 months and it is nowhere close to determining the circumstances surrounding Rodney's death. For the Evening News, Jumo Paul.
Renowned lawyer and international diplomat Sir Sridhat Sunny Ramphal will soon launch Glimpses of a Global Life, a book outlining the central role he played in several significant events during his time as the Commonwealth Secretary General. Ramphal rose from humble origins to become a key advisor to Queen Elizabeth II as head of the Commonwealth of Nations. Leaders from every continent engaged with him as the longest-serving Secretary General of the Commonwealth in 1975 to 1990, and the only person who served on all the independent international commissions that grappled with the world's major issues. Glimpses of a Global Life involves a cast of the world's leading characters and the central role Ramphal played alongside them in issues such as ending the apartheid in South Africa, laying the foundations for the global concerns about the environment, the reform of the global governance system, and the resolution of conflicts. The core of the book is concerned with the 15 years he served as the Commonwealth Secretary General, for 11 of which Margaret Thatcher was Britain's Prime Minister. Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back. You're tuned to the Evening News. Help and Shelter Guyana is encouraging men to break their silence and speak out about domestic violence and abuse, as it disclosed that 18 men have reported instances of abuse so far for the year to the entity. Additionally, the non-governmental organization is also working feverishly with menfolk to have them overcome the shame and pressures associated with breaking their silence in a world where men are expected to be macho and express little or no emotions under these circumstances. Speaking with this newscast today, Help and Shelter Public Education Officer Mr. Kevin Messiah confirmed that out of the 18 cases so far, 7 specifically deal with reports of men being physically abused by women. Messiah reported that there were 11 cases of reported psychological violence and abuse inflicted on men by their female counterparts. He said that while he could not divulge details as to the extent of the abuse, the men who went to the facility for assistance are from varying backgrounds, ethnicities, and social levels. As the Tourism Ministry gets ready for the upcoming inaugural Guyana Festival, Courts Guyana, being a corporate citizen, donated $2 million towards the initiative. Details in this report.
Courts Limited today donated $2 million to the Ministry of Tourism for the Guyana Festival. The managing director, Clyde DeHaas, said that it is a unique opportunity to support an initiative to create tourism awareness.
It will create the tourism awareness not only in Guyana but also outside. So it's a pleasure to be here and to handing over our sponsorship to the minister and his team to make this a successful festival.
Minister of Tourism Irfan Ali expressed gratitude over the donation since he believes that Guyana Festival will be a significant boost for Guyana's tourism industry.
Courts has always been a tremendous partner to the ministry in national development and also in promoting our tourism product, in enhancing our product, and in developing new ideas to stimulate the tourism industry. So I want to congratulate Courts. I think they are an excellent example of a good corporate citizen with strong commitment to the local market and to the Guyanese people.
The inaugural Guyana Festival will see the country's traditional music, dance, food, art and craft being exhibited at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence on August the 8th to 10th. The 3-day event will be marketed in North America and the Caribbean and is aimed at bringing awareness to Guyana's diverse cultural heritage and generally the nature of its tourism product, locally, regionally, and internationally. For the Evening News, Shania Singh.
Canadian High Commissioner Dr. Nicole Giles is calling on government to establish systems that would see local government elections being hosted this year. More details in this report.
Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana Dr. Nicole Giles on Thursday urged the government to host the local government elections, noting that it is vital and critical in the development of the country. Dr. Giles was speaking at the launch of the Parliament's website and live streaming project at Parliament buildings, told those present that though the country was making strides in other areas such as technology and e-governance, there is still a need for bigger strides to be taken, particularly in the direction of local government elections, citing the need for proper systems and structures to be put in place so that a country can be positively developed.
As Guyana makes important strides in advancing e-governance and making itself increasingly accessible to its citizens, it is also critical that the citizens of Guyana have fully functioning structures in place at all levels of government, including at the local level. It is equally important that citizens of Guyana are able to exercise their voices through their votes in selecting their own government, including at the local level. Local elections at this stage in Guyana's rapid development can only serve to build on progress that has already been made and are critical for its future development.
Dr. Giles' statement came on heels of several other calls being made by various sections of society for local government elections to be held, given the current situation at some of the municipalities. Just last month, several organizations in the country called on the government and the Partnership for National Unity, APNU, to work together in the interest of holding the much-needed local government elections. For the Evening News, I'm Gabriella Patram.
A Partnership for National Unity Member of Parliament and Shadow Home Affairs Minister Winston Felix has condemned the statement made by the Guyana Police Force to the effect that it is being made a scapegoat. Jomo Paul reports.
APNU MP Winston Felix says that it is strange that the police can say it is being made a scapegoat when in fact it is the one conducting the investigations.
I want to suggest to you and all the other journalists here that whatever is being thrown at the feet of the DPP starts with the police, because the DPP has to review an investigation submitted in a file by the police. It's not that the DPP is making up everything. It's where the police submits a file and submits all the relevant documentation. The DPP has something to work with. If there are misleading components of that investigation, then the DPP will be misled. But my thoughts are that the police must do a proper investigation and submit a file.
Felix contended that the police force was out of order when it issued the statement.
That's not an excuse. Come to clean your face in the public. It's not good for an organization like the police. you have to see what has gone wrong and make efforts to ensure that it does not happen again. Running to the public crying is not a proper response. And that is what that release told me yesterday, that the police crying about the fact that the case is dismissed. There are two parties to it, and both parties should have observed where things are going wrong.
The Guyana Police Force on Thursday made attempts to shift the blame for the non-conviction in the Damien Belgrave court case. According to the police, the chambers of the DPP and the Police Complaints Authority should be answerable for the collapse of the case. The police said it depended on these two bodies for legal advice. For the evening news, Jumo Paul.
A new social organization has been launched which will see young people being able to give their views on political and social issues that are affecting them. Here are details from Gabriela Pashram.
A new social change organization is on the block seeking to shift the way young people think and their attitudes, values, and resources towards the common good of our society. Speaking with the Evening News was founder of the group Clinton Erlin, who noted that Blue Caps inherits its philosophy based on the tenets of change, advocacy, policy, and service.
We are also looking to host our first leadership training session sometime in June. We're looking towards platform where we can capture most of the views of young people across Guyana. And once we've done that, those views will form the foundation of the advocacy efforts for us. It's not going to be decided by one or two individuals or those who sit around the steering committee of the Big Caps. It's going to come from ordinary Guyanese youths from across the country. Some of the leaders from their own communities and groups will inform us. And at some point we decide on a forum in which we can gather that kind of information.
He said the group must make meaningful contributions to the wider society and the discourse on things national.
At the moment, there's just a steering committee who's planning on what we're calling the core foundational issues, which is to build up the group. Part of that process is our constitutional registration. I'm sure once the registration process is completed, anyone could be able to join once they have a belief that they can help their group to achieve its mission and they want to volunteer their time to do so, they can become a member. And then we have our rules and systems and structures which you have to operate within. And a big part of what we do is to ensure that everybody abides by our values, our value statement. And some of those statements will include things like equality, respect for each other, respect for diverse opinions. You can disagree with me, but do so in a respectful way, do so in an honest way. And we're also looking to build on a code of conduct in the way in which we operate. We're asking also, part of our work is to be very objective.
For the Evening News, I'm Gabriela Patram.
Join us on the other side of the break for your regional, international news and, of course, your bridge reports. Welcome back. You're tuned to the Evening News. It's now time for a look at what's happening in the region. The Trinidad and Tobago government on Friday denied reports of an imminent coup as hundreds of workers and commuters made their way early out of the city. Communications Minister Visan Virat, in a taped media message to houses in that country, described the plot as a hoax and part of an orchestrated campaign to destabilize the oil-rich Twin Island Republic. He said this is the second rumor in the past week aimed at disturbing the public peace, adding that there is no truth in the rumor about an attempted coup in Trinidad and Tobago. On July 27, 1990, members of the radical Jamaat al-Muslim group, led by Yassin Abu Bashk, on stage an insurrection aimed at overthrowing the then A&R Robinson administration. Bark led more than 100 members in coordinated attacks on the parliament and the lone television station. At least 24 people, including one legislator, were killed during the 6-day insurrection that ended on August 1. Bark and his men were tried for treason, but the Court of Appeal upheld the amnesty offered to secure their surrender, and they were released. However, the London-based Privy Council, the country's highest court, later invalidated the amnesty, but the Muslim members were not rearrested. Internationally, India's Prime Minister-elect Narendra Modi has been performing religious rituals in the Hindu holy city of Varanasi after his election's landslide. Modi offered prayers in the banks of a river there after being greeted by jubilant supporters. Observers say the ceremony was rich in political symbolism, underlining Mr. Modi's roots. Modi, 63, also promised to clean up the river, which is considered a sacred river by Hindus. He was elected to parliament from his home state of Gujarat. Earlier, he held a victory procession in the capital, Delhi. Narendra Modi secured the most decisive election victory in India in 3 decades, campaigning on promises to revive the ailing economy. He's expected to be sworn in next week. And now it's time for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed on Sunday, May 18 at 5 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Sunday, May 18 at 6 hours 40 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Parika and Supernam ferries will be departing at 7 a.m. on Sunday, May 18. Both ferries are also slated to depart their respective locations at 19 hours on Sunday, May 18, 2014. Join us on the other side of the break for your sport news sponsored by Macor.